What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of M&A Matters. This is your host, John Tiriakiolu. Hope you're all having a great week. In today's episode, I wanted to talk about 5 key things to watch out for in an integration or separation based on my own experience. So far, the series focused mostly on best practice and general principles, but in today's episode, I want to talk about my own experience and projects that I've personally done. So let's get straight into it. Number 1, get the guiding principles right. This applies for both integrations and separations. The guiding principles are the cornerstones of your deal. If you get them right, then it is easy to carry on with the rest of the integration or separation. If you get them wrong and you have to discuss them again, then it means rework and headaches. For example, if it's an integration, you need to make sure which HR system or payroll system will be the ultimate payroll system used by the combined business at the end. You need to make that decision rather early. In one example project that I worked on, we were picking the HR and payroll system. And after having made a decision, we then went back and chose another piece of software. We proceeded with that assumption for a couple of months. Then we went back to and reverted to the original HR payroll system we wanted to use. All in all, the back and forth between one system and the other resulted in loss of valuable time and effort from all stakeholders involved. So getting the system selection right and sticking to your decision is highly beneficial to prevent further rework down the line. Similarly, in a separation program, let's say we're talking about the guiding principle of who will stay and who will go. You could say anyone spending 50% of their time or more in the carve-out entity needs to transition out with the carve-out entity. Well, there will always be exceptions to the rule. So it is really advisable to determine who these exceptional people are and to give them clarity right in the beginning of the process, so that you don't cause anxiety and uncertainty for the exceptions and everybody knows what their future will be. Not doing it early on will result in potentially unsettling these people and potential loss of talent. Number 2, always have a high-level view of your target operating model if it's an integration, or your service delivery models if it's a separation, along with the associated costs, synergies, and separation cost adjustments early on. You need this initial view early on, because if you don't know where you're going. It's like flying a plane while building it at the same time. Establishing the target operating models and service delivery models, at least a high-level view of it up front, will really allow you to progress with the rest of the deal with ease. Number 3, don't change targets midway through the program. Now, in most integrations or separations that have been thought through properly, you wouldn't see this, but sometimes conditions of the business change, macroeconomic conditions change, and the requirements from the deal change. However, if you try to change your targets midway through the deal, this will only cause frustration by people involved, and it will make things more difficult. If you have specific achievable aims that have been agreed up front, and you've adjusted or prepared your program to achieve those aims, and then you change those aims, it's like you're working towards a moving finish line, which is never ideal. Number 4, bring people on the journey. What I mean by that is that M&A transactions, integrations, or separations are one of the biggest changes a person will experience in their working life. So it's only natural that some people feel worried or feel like they don't know what the future holds for them. So you really need to make sure that you address this point head on by having a really clear communication program in place. And if required, you need incentives to keep key talent in the business. So really focusing on the people side of the business right from the start, all throughout the program, is critical for the success of the integration or separation program. I will touch upon this more in tomorrow's episode, where we will cover in more detail why the people side and comms side of the transactions are very important. Number 5, make sure you have all the information you need early on, and if you don't, escalate it. This is more valid for perhaps consulting engagements where you come in to assist a client to do a transaction, to do a separation or an integration. But you will often find that the clients won't have all the information you need at hand. And at times they will struggle to get this information for a very long time. To avoid delays to your own program and targets, you need to request this information in a regular manner. And if you are having a difficult time getting the information, you need to escalate this up through the appropriate channels. I've personally had experiences whereby in projects, I've really struggled to get hold of the information I need, which has resulted in extreme pressures in meeting already tight deadlines. Key stakeholders were not responsive to me. In hindsight, I did my best to escalate these issues, but the escalation routes weren't responsive either, which is a shame. However, in most instances, my view is that if you escalate sufficiently and quickly enough, you will be able to resolve information issues and you will have all the key information you need to progress with your program. So, those were the 5 key things to watch out for in an integration or separation based on my experience. What are some of the key things that you think we need to watch out for in an integration or separation? Let us know down in the comments. Share your own perspectives and experience. I think it would be valuable for everyone. If you have any other feedback, that's also welcome. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, press the like button and I'll see you on the next one.